freaking weird. Yeah. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing, everybody? How we doing? If you're a human in the chat, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not a human in the chat, put a 3 in the chat. All right, let's go and see what's going on in the wonderful world of the news. Bill Maher the other day had Nancy Mace on and had a little conversation with her. Jason Cohen is the Twitter person on this one here. Let's check and see how their little conversation went here. There we go.
The fact that this issue has not gotten on people's radar.
Right, no one's talking about it.
It's pretty amazing. If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck. You are in a bubble. Not, and again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are the Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Because no one will talk about it, so thank you.
Absolutely.
It's Africa. That's what no one's talking about it, and they should be. You can't read about it in mainstream media. It's sad. So thank you for bringing.
Well, because the Jews aren't involved. That's why. It's the Christians and the Muslims. Who cares? It's just the fact that this.
I couldn't hit pause on that thing. That was weird. I was like, pause button. Why is the pause button working? What's going on, Mr. John? What's going on? Nice to see you. It's good. Not all. Yeah, most of them are gone, and it's too intense for me out there. I was watching the leftist over there, Mercado Media or whatever. He's trying to dig up funds or whatever to come and record it. So you might see a lot of videos of cement, coming from that side of the table or something like that. It's just videos of cement and videos of the police arresting Antifa potentially. See what happens. It's just craziness going on in the world these days. This you already know this news here, but you sort of Trump says he'll send troops to handle domestic terrorists. Notice how they put it in quotes, that he says they're domestic terrorists. Not the fact that those same domestic terrorists have actually attacked Fox 12 News, local news in town. Physically assaulted them, told them they cannot film here, among other stations and everything. But they still want to say domestic terrorists in quotes when they've been attacked by these same people. Pathetic. You see this other news here about, let me make it bigger for you so you can see what's going on there. Again, if you're a human in the chat, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not a human in the chat, put a 3 in the chat. If you're not sure, you can put a 2 in the chat if you're kind of confused on the subject there. Just check and see if we have how many humans we have in the chat there. That means you have human DNA, But evidently this Lisa Murkowski out of Alaska, I can't imagine why Alaska would ever vote for a Democrat. But anyway, considering oil-rich country, or state. But anyway, I don't want to play all of it here, but let's see what they said.
Say Democrats win 3 seats in the next midterm election in the Senate, and they say, we're going to let you pass bills that benefit Alaskans if you caucus with us. You don't have to become a Democrat. You can be an independent, but if you caucus with us and provide the sort of 4th vote that we need to get from where we are now, and you can pass legislation that helps Alaskans, would you do it?
It's an interesting hypothetical. You've started off with the right hook here is if this would help Alaskans, because at the end of
Oh,
the day,
I know
that's
you.
yeah,
I've-
you
I've
do.
done my reading.
Yeah, see, this is why this book is kind of scary because now people know what motivates me, and it's this love for Alaska and what I can do. So that
BS, BS, BS. It's this love for power and wanting to stay in power is what everybody in Alaska knows that what you want when you push for that third party voting system or whatever it was, a ranked choice voting system. Nonsense. Hey, my God, how you doing? How do you feel about this Alaskan senator here? Everyone's doing good. That's unbelievable. Hey, I got some new faces in here. I've seen you guys on different panels out there. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. If we get more people, maybe I'll invite you guys up to help me with the news or something like that if you want to. But for now, I'm just going to go over some of the crazy news going on. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. That's right. You did say you're from Oregon. You moved back east or something like that. You might see videos of Oregon in the next few days or something like that. Feel free to make sure you subscribe to my buddies Katie Davis Court on Twitter, and of course Andy No. Although Andy No doesn't live in the Northwest, but he covers the Northwest pretty well. Anyway, let's see what she says if she's going to switch parties or something here.
that's my primary goal. I have to figure out how I can be most effective for the people that I serve. That's why I'm going to continue to do a really hard job because I want to try to help people. My part.
Well, since your state is the most energy rich state and everything, primarily because of the oil that comes from your states and your fishing industry, which is primarily ran by Republicans, that's no hard work, and a little some tourism too that kind of comes through there. Most of those people sort of want to kind of keep the jobs in the oil industry, so they would vote Republican and have Republican values. So if you vote with Democrats, or how are you supporting the Republican values of the oil-rich state that you are? Please, they won't ask that kind of question though. So I'm not sure what kind of podcast this guy is. Probably left-leaning.
My problem with your hypothetical is that as challenged as I think we may be on the Republican side, I don't see the Democrats being much better. And
Hey, wow, she said something a Republican would say. Wow, wow, wow. Although I would have said, I don't see the Democrats being any better at all. So I would have said not just much better. But yeah, if you lived in Portland, and especially near like the downtown area where you know what's going on there, that's a good area to move out of. But if you live south of Portland, about 20 to 70 miles south of Portland, you're kind of okay for the most part, as long as you're not in Salem or something. But that kind of area, you're kind of safe in that kind of ballpark from all the craziness. But it's wild up there in the Portland area sometimes. And it's just like people keep saying, it's just a few blocks of Portland are bad, just a few blocks, no, it's a few blocks here, quite a few blocks over here, more blocks over by the ICE building are starting to be trashed. It's that area over there by the federal courthouse that's trashed, even though the nice waterfront area is a couple blocks away from there. That's nice. You go a few blocks this way over by that park across the street from the federal courthouse. You think a park would be pretty, but no. I remember going there in 2021, 2022. I think I even filmed it. There's the bathroom in that city park. I think it's right across from the county courthouse. I think it is. But anyway, oh boy, I can still imagine the smell that came out of that thing. Craziness. Anyway, here we go.
And they've got not only their share of problems, but quite honestly, they've got some policies that I just inherently disagree with. One of the things that I thought was interesting in the book when we're writing it was this whole effort prior to me deciding that I was going
to. She's about to trash on Democrats, and you see his face there, like, no, you're not supposed to trash on Democrats. I'm a Democrat. It's a Democrat show. Please don't do this. You're supposed to say that you want to be a Democrat.
Launched the write-in, people were looking at what happened after the primary, and they said the only way that you are going to retain this seat is if you basically have your name on the ballot, and the only way to do that is to basically carry the flag of the Libertarian Party, because that was the only party outside of the Republicans and Democrats. And so they said, basically, can you be a libertarian for a day to get elected? And they dangled that in front of me. And all of the people that I was talking to said, this is, of course, what you have to do. And I said, I can't do that. I can't be somebody that I'm not. I can't now say, I want this job so much that I'm going to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. That's not who I am.
So instead, she decided to become an independent after she lost the Republican primary and didn't trust the Republican voters to vote for the correct person and bow out after she lost the Republican primary to somebody else. And because that made it so there were 3 sort of potential candidates and everything, that sort of they weren't going to vote for the Democrat, so they voted for Murkowski over the Republican that the Republicans already nominated. That's how she got into the office.
But I guess the question is, you wouldn't become a Democrat, right? In this situation, you would be independent. And the next time Republicans are close to a majority, you could caucus with them. But I guess I more ask, is there a world in which by becoming unaligned or an independent, you could help Alaskans that you'd consider it?
There may be that possibility. And let me put it into context from where I'm from. In Alaska right now, our legislature is governed by coalition. In the Senate, I think it's, 12? What's the makeup in the Senate?
12, or it's 14.
Yeah. 14-6 and 21-19 in the House and in the Senate. We got a small legislature, but coalitions in both bodies. And this is one of the things that I think is good and healthy for us. And I think actually is one of the reasons why people are not surprised that I don't neatly.
I'm not sure if anybody's still in the chat there. Let's just double check there. But actually, I could probably tell if you guys answered the poll question. That tells me if people did anything there. Who do you trust most? So far, the parents are ahead. Ooh, the spouse, the lover person is getting a few votes there too. Looks like 5 votes total over there. So yeah, so far the parents, so you trust more than your spouse, lover, and that could be you may not have a spouse or lover type person or something. We shall see, but feel free to say why you trust your parents or your spouse more than the other option if you wanted to. You don't have to, but something to talk about.
The line with just party initiatives, because we've kind of embraced a governing style that says if you've got good ideas and you can work with her over there, it doesn't make any difference if you're Republican or Democrat. We can govern together for the good of the state. And so it is a coalition government. It's not a Republican majority or a Democrat majority. It is a coalition government.
So
should I go back there where she gave you the numbers like 19, 16 or something like that? Like usually that means that one is higher than the other.
So
if
could we
Democrats
do
won
that?
3 seats in the next election and offered you ways to pass bills that benefit Alaskans, if you caucused with them, you'd consider.
If we're talking about some kind of a coalition, that's something that again is not foreign to Alaskans. Is it foreign to our operations in the Senate? Yeah. Is not foreign in other governing bodies. You look at the makeup in so many other countries. So I'm evading your answer, of course,
But
because it is so supremely hypothetical. But you can tell that the construct that we're working with right now, I don't think is the best construct.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds like you're saying
At least she's not saying she'll go Democrat there. Says she might switch parties is what this guy says here.
yes.
Is it something that is worthy of exploration? See, you're looking to make news today. Murkowski's got to head a coalition government.
I'm the little guy here. Help me. Don't give it to CBS. Don't give it to ABC. Give it to me.
Well, and this is one of the things where when we talk about like election reform and ways that we can actually break down some of these really partisan divides that come up, I think it's some of the things that we're seeing in a place like Alaska, where we're talking about coalitions that come together, where you have ranked choice voting that encourages people. You have a greater likelihood of being elected if you are not viewed as just the wholly partisan, but you're liked by you're supported by a group over here. Plus, there's a lot of folks that really like you as your number.
You got voted in because of your name, the familiarity that people had with your name. Not because you were just kind of a third person out of the other 2 people, the Democrats primary winner and the Republican primary winner. You won because a majority of the people knew your name. Period. End of story.
Too. And so this idea of kind of melding melding different political thoughts. I don't know if that's the way I want to phrase it. If I saw that in writing, I probably would disagree. But it is a different way of looking at how we are addressing our problems rather than just saying it's red and it's blue.
I do want to ask specifically about Alaska's system. I'm, pretty nerdy. I've done whole docuseries about gerrymandering and different types of voting and the like. But and I'm going to move on to that. But was that a yes? That yes, there's some openness to it.
There is some openness to exploring something different than the status quo. How's that?
Okay. All right.
That's not saying she'd be a Democrat, but it's not saying not either. Anyway, let's see what else we got going on here in the news. What's this Jimmy Kimmel thing here? Jimmy Kimmel's ratings have dropped by 70% since returning 3 days ago. I'm guessing, though, that 70% is from his first night to his third night, not from his previous rankings to now. If it was from his previous ratings to now, then yeah, he should have been dropped. But since he had a big turnout, when he came back, everybody shows up. Ethan Hawke shows up, things like this. And Gavin Newsom was there, big deal. It's LA. But anyway, that's probably where that 70% comes from, which is interesting. Former federal prosecutor, anybody in the Epstein files is above the law. The most galling part about all of this was that Pam Bondi also said no one is above the law. So we know that's not true. Eric Adams is above the law. Tom Holman is above the law. Okay, Eric Adams is being investigated or was being investigated by the FBI. Maybe he's not now after somebody found out that the investigation was a kind of a fraud. But what's this CNN?
In the Epstein files, Laura, it's a continuation of the abuse of power I witnessed firsthand, which led me to leave the job that I love and run for Congress here in Pennsylvania. I think this is unprecedented in American history. You have a president.
I left because I quit my job because I didn't like the person I was working for. But I want you to vote for me. Is that what I'm hearing from this guy here? That's what I just heard. Try to get here. Did I miss something?
Firsthand, which led me to leave the job that I love.
Go back further.
Laura, it's a continuation of the abuse of power I witnessed firsthand.
Okay, continuation of the abuse of power. So you've been in that job or whatever, and you see a little bit more of behavior you don't like. So you decided to do what now?
Which led me to leave the job that I love and run for Congress here in Pennsylvania.
You love that job? Interesting. As a prosecutor, you'd probably want to prosecute things you don't like, maybe something like that, but you love that job. Okay.
I think this is unprecedented in American history. You have a president who put out an enemies list, essentially, then prevailed upon his...
Essentially? Really? He did? He did? Do you have evidence of this enemies list? Let me see. Where's this enemies list you're talking about? Yes, there are certain people that did things to knowingly attack him, and among other things, verbally and legally. Is it okay if he kind of points those people out? Does that make them an enemies list or some kind of pew list? No, that's not what it means, does it?
Attorney General to pursue one of the people on that list, which she did. And now you have the Attorney General saying that there'll be more to come. And I think the most galling part about all this was that Pam Bondi also said no one's above the law, except we know that's not true. Eric Adams is above the law. Tom Homan is above the law.
Tell me what Tom Homan did that is against the law. AOC doesn't know what certain laws are when it comes to racketeering and things like that. So maybe you know what certain laws that Tom Homan broke. and you'll point out those laws rather than just kind of accuse someone. Because as a former federal prosecutor, you know that accusations mean nothing without evidence, right? You think, I'm pretty sure accusations are kind of worthless without at least a little bit of evidence. So please present your evidence.
Apparently, anybody in the Epstein files is above the law, and really anyone who's a friend of Donald Trump's is above the law.
Again, assumptions without any kind of backup or anything like that. Really.
At the same time that they're pursuing these charges against James Comey, I have no doubt that he will not be convicted.
Really? Why are you so sure?
Because of this.
No doubt that he will not be convicted. Even though so far a grand jury was okay with the two sets of indictments in Washington, D.C. Why are you so sure? Now she's finally going to ask him his legal opinion here because he's done nothing but giving political opinion so far. Since he's a federal prosecutor, you probably want to have him on here for his legal opinions, even though he's evidently running for Congress.
Well, first of all, I think that there's going to be a very valid selective or vindictive prosecution motion that just may stop us in his tracks.
Selective prosecution motion. There's already an indictment with his name on it, with things on that indictment. So you're assuming there's going to be a selective prosecution something or other. There's an indictment that was okayed by a grand jury on the table. There's nothing else on the table yet. You're assuming bad things, what you think are bad things in the future. But you have no evidence of this or anything. But go ahead.
But the facts are contradicted by the IG's report, and it's being brought by a U.S. attorney whose previous experience is an insurance attorney, whose first indictment was so sloppy, the paragraphs were misnumbered, and there was 2 count twos. And it appears she has to go this alone because no one else in the office is willing to do it.
Mark.
Well, the grand jury's willing to do it. How about that? Those grand jury there of quite a few Democrats likely. But anyway, your point there. I don't know what his other stuff was about. Let's get rid of that one. You guys still watching? I think you're still watching. Put a 1 in the chat if you're still watching. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not watching. Antifa behavior. They're just hanging out. Oh yeah, I can't really show what happened in this one here, but a white guy 3 or 4 years ago was just kind of getting out of the cars, taking pictures near where some Antifa behavior was happening, and some people with darker melanin skin than mine got out and attacked that person repeatedly. Even the person that was trying to protect that person also got in the way, and something happened to that person too. But anyway, yeah, Black Lives Matter, guys. Black Lives Matter. Yeah, this is how the FBI behaved under Biden, hunting for a New Jersey veteran who trespassed on January 6th. And what do you see? About 10 national security guards there, right?
SWAT team, the Jamesburg Police Department, Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, all investigating and searching for Gregory Yetman, who they say is wanted in connection with the attacks on the U.S. Capitol back in January 6th. Of course, throughout the afternoon, we will be here as this search continues.
Guns drawn for a person that trespassed likely without a weapon. But yeah, you send in 10 national FBI agents, probably fully armed to the teeth. Yeah, that sounds fair. That sounds like equal justice, guys. You're in Jersey area? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, New Jersey? I got you. You probably did this. I mean, this is quite a while ago, but you might remember the story of Middlesex. Do people make fun of that name of that town? If you're in that area, do people kind of make little jokes about the name of Middlesex County, New Jersey? Probably some good memes about that one. Let's see what the Obama Foundation sent millions to the Tides Network, which is tied to far left groups Interesting. But yeah, Obama was he was a uniter. He wasn't far left or far right. He was kind of just a center left kind of guy, right? Yeah. But yes, but his foundation sent millions to far left groups. Interesting. Allegedly, based on this report, anyway. So, in case YouTube questions my authenticity, let's check and see what else we got in the news here. There's a tolerant person here. A Lindell TV reporter has her mic ripped out right out of her hand. Why is the left so violent? Let's go find out about this. Interesting. Yeah.
This is the psychopaths. I'm calling them. Get it on camera.
Learning the master's tools will not save you from the master. Will not save you.
This is
Learning the master's tools will not save you from the master. Is that some sort of Chinese proverb or something like that? Must be some sort of Chinese proverb. I've never heard of that one. Wonder what it's supposed to mean. Antifa member got lit up pepper balls outside the ICE facility in Chicago. Interesting. What was he doing to get all the pepper with him and everything? Was he trying to make dinner and everything? And ICE was kind of helping him get some salt there and pepper. Some salt and pepper for his spaghetti. I don't really want to watch that, but you get the idea. What's going on in the parts here? Chicago is going to have a whole bunch of people there to keep their little situation there in Chicago, and Portland's going to gather some other Antifa people after what Trump said about going after Portland Antifa types in the pocketbooks and things like that. So we shall see what happens in the near future, probably. This is an interesting thing here. Did you hear about this thing here? Bruce Springsteen evidently trashes Democrats, saying that they can't speak to the majority of the nation. Wow. Are you finally realizing this, Mr. Springsteen, that we're at least a two-party system and not all Republicans are bad? Is that what you're kind of maybe starting to understand a little bit here? As you're getting older, maybe you want to not have all your millions be taxed, things like that. Maybe have some of your money be able to transition to your children if you have any. Maybe you're starting to understand things like that. Funny how that happens when you get older. You start to become a little bit more conservative. Strange things. So they do make fun of that town over there. You guys want to watch her? I don't really want to listen to her voice. Her voice irritates me, but it's only like 25 seconds, so I'll try to put up with it. So are you for yourself or for the nation? I heard that part there from a lady who left the country because she didn't like the president. Yeah, I guess you're not actually for the nation there, unless you're talking about another nation. So you don't even understand your own song. Jessica Tarlov, Divine Elves. I thought he was kind of a conservative, but exposing hypocrisy one day at a time. I guess he's kind of tries to be a middle of the road guy, but interesting. She says here. This is from the other day, I think.
Josh, tell him I loved his op-ed. And Greg mentioned a staggering level of corruption. And I just got a note that the staggering level of corruption from last night's meme coin dinner.
That's what you're focusing on, the meme coin.
No, 40% of Donald Trump's wealth has been accumulated since he became president because of 2 crypto coins. The New York Times did interviews with foreign buyers of this cryptocurrency who came over here to have dinner with him. A guy from South Korea.
This is not even part of the segment.
So what?
You're talking about a meme coin.
No, I'm talking about who's corrupt and who is profiting off the American office.
Did he try to cover that up? I don't think so.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt said
You're defending an administration that covered up a dying leader, and you're sitting here going, "But meme coin, meme coin."
I'm saying billions
All right, let's
of
give Paul
dollars.
a chance to clean it up real quick. Paul,
It
final
is
thoughts.
clean on my side of the street.
Even if that's true, that he's went up 70% since president. I'm not sure if she's talking first term or second term, whatever, but 70%. Let's look at Nancy Pelosi and a lot of the upper end Democrats. 70% would be they'd feel bad if they only got 70% of an increase with all their stock trades and everything like that. But yeah, 70%. We went up like 500%. Trump only went up 70%. How sad, Anyway.
All right, all I can say is that.
This guy here, Brennan or whatever his name is.
His adversaries and enemies. Well, I think he has made it a crusade of his. And once he makes something a crusade and he starts to label individuals as his adversaries and enemies, he will go to great lengths to try to ruin them, whether it be reputationally, financially, professionally, whatever. And I do think that this is something that he...
I'm not grifting. Snooks is grifting there for likes and subs and things like that. I'm not grifting, okay? So you guys can't accuse me of being a grifter for likes and subs.
He cannot get over. He cannot move forward. Again, he is, for somebody who has been able to amass, such a tremendous following in the United States, and with his base of support that continues to be relatively strong, you would think he would not be as sensitive to any types of criticisms, but he is. He is just so sensitive and will react and tries.
He's sensitive. If he's referring to Trump here, I'd be really sensitive if they tried to go after me for certain laws that they kind of made up out of the blue and everything and put them together after the statute of limitations and try to get me on something like that, or try to get me on something that happened 35 years ago to a lady in a changing room that probably didn't happen. And they didn't look at her history of sort of making things up as part of that civil case. Yeah, it's kind of bad. He just kind of comes after people for no reason, There's no reason. It's just revenge in his mind. Yeah, vengeance, no justice or anything like that.
To lash back, as he said very publicly, that he does not forgive his opponents. And he's not going to change. Again, I'm just...
Really, I don't know if he ever said that, but let's think of the people that he has kind of forgiven, among other things. Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat, during the other primary, Gabbard accused Trump of certain things. She's now his DNI. JFK was not a big fan of Trump during the COVID thing, but he's his HHS secretary. What else? Megyn Kelly, he called her names back in the day. She's now one of his biggest online media supporters. He goes after and doesn't forgive his enemies. You were saying something about that, sir?
Hoping that there are some people around him that are looking at this and saying, boy, this really is consistent with all of the stereotypical sort of actions of a despot, of a tyrant, and they shouldn't be taking a knee to him. They need to be able to stand up.
These are actions of a despot. When the court says to stop doing something you're doing, and he stops doing what he's told to do, versus Biden that was told to stop doing student loans by the Supreme Court, and what did he do? He kept finding ways to do it. Yeah, but yeah, Trump is a tyrant, evidently. Why? It's just the education level, the people that listen to these guys, it's like, do your research. If they say an accusation like this, that seems kind of ridiculous. Is Trump a tyrant? Maybe I need to look up and see what Trump actually did rather than just believe some guy on TV.
I'm old enough to remember Watergate.
Yeah, you look like you're watered down. You guys see this one here? I guess somebody said she looked kind of a little drunkish in this one here. Let's check and see if
And by the way, what is also historic about that in many ways, it was the closest election for President of the United States in the 21st century.
Wow, I know that's right. The Howard Grad did that here.
And a Howard Grad.
I was more watching the Secret Service agent back there and his facial expressions and the fact that he did this. I'm guessing that the photographer that's there kind of circling is her photographer that's okay to film this, even though filming from the other side for some reason. It's kind of a ridiculous way to film someone. But you see the Secret Service agent behind him, behind her there? Look at his reaction here.
For President of the United States.
Oh, is that not big enough to see? Sorry.
Wow, I know that's right. The Howard Grad did that here.
And a Howard Grad did.
Usually, if you're a Secret Service agent, you don't let people between you and the person you're defending. He turned around and looked at his phone, while the photographer lady got in between him and the person he's protecting. Did she say something silly? I wasn't even watching what she said. You still behaving in the chat there? Okay, I'm glad you're still behaving here. We're just watching some news and doing silly things here. 274 agents. Yeah, we already kind of know about that. Oh, and that he's not happy with Christopher Wray that said he's not aware of any agents that were at the Capitol January 6th. They had no idea of any such thing, even though there's it might be possible that there were up to 274 agents. It's possible that those were there over the entire day, possibly, is what some people are saying now. But that's still quite a few agents there to kind of be there just to back up the Capitol Police after everybody left, But anyway, I guess that's why they wanted to keep the Hoover building there, huh? This is, what's her name? Sam Ponder is not a big fan of men going into women's spaces here.
My mouth shut. I claim to be a follower of Christ and a believer, but the truth was I saw my values in the decisions I was making, and what I was choosing was cared a lot about public opinion, cared a lot about the money I was making, didn't want to lose my paycheck. And in hindsight, I can see the cowardice and the hypocrisy in the way that I was living. And I feel shame about that now because there is, to your point, there is no way that in this country, especially in sports, you shouldn't be able to say on your own social media accounts, I don't think men should be in women's sports. This is something I talk to athletes all the time. 99.9% of professional athletes, like, we know this is ridiculous. And the fact that we haven't been able to say it boldly, but with kindness and some humility, is insane. It is insane that we've gotten to this point in sports that we can't just be honest about what's true and not be a jerk about it.
Yeah. Have your opinion. Say, this is my opinion of who should be in women's spaces in sports and who should be in men's spaces in sports. Probably people that have male DNA should be in male places, and people that have female DNA and genitalia should be in female places. Just an idea.
But just say, yeah, you're not putting a male in my daughter's locker room. It's not happening.
Actually, people are finally standing up. What else we got going on here? What did he say the other day here?
In the House, in a bipartisan fashion, they passed all 12 appropriations bills through the committee, 3 of them off the floor. The Senate passed 3 bills. Remember the old videos on Saturday mornings about how a bill becomes a law? If the House and the Senate disagree on an appropriation.
Who's he referring to? Who's he referring to? You want to hear it again? Remember that? Here it is again. Who's he referring to? You guys in the chat? Is he referring to a certain song that might be related to my name here?
The old videos on Saturday mornings about how a bill becomes a law. If the House and the Senate disagree on an appropriation spending bill, they go to a conference committee to work it out. We voted to do that. All this is working well, but we're coming up
Just a bill up on Capitol Hill.
on the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. So we need a few more weeks to finish this good work. So what we did in a responsible manner as Republicans in charge is we offered a totally clean short-term CR to get that job done. Chuck Schumer saw that. He returned a counteroffer that is filled with partisan wish lists and poison pills and demands. It includes, for example, Brett, what Chuck Schumer is arguing for. He wants to reinstate free health care for illegal aliens. He wants to add $500 million to prop up liberal media outlets. And he wants to add a massive $1.4 trillion spending hike to what should be a simple 7-week stopgap funding measure. We can't do that. We're not going to do it.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. It's going to come down to Republicans, I think, are going to vote for everything there because they're not going to vote for Schumer's idea there. I can't imagine any Republican that would sign on to that stuff. So as long as it just needs a majority vote, might be a last minute decision. This is going on at the Beaver Stadium in Penn State and everything, giving out freedom shirts there because Charlie Kirk was a Oregon Duck fan there. I think Benny Johnson was there. You got one Duck fan there, maybe two or something like that. Like, come on, can I get one of those? Like a lot of Penn State fans there.
For Charlie.
For Charlie. That was cool. That was cool. Cool to see Charlie do. Was it liberals acting crazy here? Here's Dearborn, Michigan, where they're still blasting the horns at 5:30 in the morning. That is against state regulations. Is that really what you want to hear at 5:30 in the morning? It's a Muslim call for prayer at 5:30 in the morning. At areas all around Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, maybe it's turning into primarily Muslim things, but if it was a primarily Christian thing and people wanted you to go to church or something like that, could the church kind of say it's time for church, ring the bell, so it disrupts traffic and everything? No, the city would say, no, that's too loud. Sorry, you can't do that. But they ignore it when it's a certain other culture doing it. Interesting. Already saw that guy say stupid stuff. His daughter has a message for Trump supporters, guys. You ready for this genius person here and this message for Trump supporters here?
It may be, as long as it fits their narrative. And a large chunk of our
narrative. You mean your dad sort of saying that he was given awards when he wasn't given an award, kind of thing, and among other things? That narrative? Okay. Anyway, go on.
country are severe victims of propaganda. That same chunk will believe literally anything, no matter how ridiculous.
Like your dad sort of, what's it, the honor thing when you take somebody's valor, stolen valor.
Or illogical it may be, as long as it fits their narrative. And our stupid, emphasis on stupid, president is getting us into war. But at least I have my swig in the Q.
You got a thing hanging out your nose there, making you look ridiculous, for one thing. Silly looking necklace. I thinking you're doing some cultural appropriation there. But yeah, it's okay for you guys to do it.
Outfit. I'll show you guys my outfit. Cute. I also got the cookies from Swig. Also, this is satire. I'm not being serious. Everything is terrible. That is how I'm feeling. It's the little things that keep me personally going.
Really, you're so depressed because your dad didn't get in the White House or something like that? Is that why she's depressed, guys? I'm trying to figure out what's her depression going on here. You're worried about people nearby that New Jersey-sized country over there, south of it over there, but do you know what's going on in Nigeria now? Do you care about the Christians in Nigeria? Oh, I didn't hear about the Christians in Nigeria. What's happening to those people? Well, yeah, things as bad, if not worse, than the people in Gaza right now.
I urge you all to find the little things that also keep you going and allow us to continue resisting the absolute insanity that is occurring in the world and in our country. We need to fill our own cups before we can fill others. And
yeah, fill your cups, guys. What do you fill your cups with? This is what I fill my cup with, okay? But I don't really need it. I just like it because I'm fine. I don't need mental help because of somebody who's in office. The person who was in office, presidential office, that's the person that didn't need mental help, okay? Most people don't need mental help just because somebody is in Washington, D.C. that they don't like, you know. Usually not a great reason to need mental help. Did any of you guys need mental help just because Biden was in office the past 4 years?
that was the point I was trying to make. So happy Saturday. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Oh my goodness.
Are you a woman? And
Would you rather have Kai Trump as a teenage role model or that person as a teenage role model? I'd rather have Kai Trump as a teenage role model. Definitely over Kamala Harris's daughter-in-law, I think it is. Again, are you in the chat there, guys? I see 8 people supposedly in the chat, but since they're probably robots and not humans, we'll double check here. 1 in the chat if you're a human, 2 in the chat if you're not sure, 3 in the chat if you're a robot or an alien or something else, okay? George Soros is what this note says here. I'm trying to make it bigger for you so you can see it a little bit easier. Here, where's the zoom thing? There's the zoom thing. See that a little bit bigger? Make it a little bit bigger, maybe? Can I do that? Yeah, that's big enough. George Soros Open Society Foundation has given more than $80 million to groups tied to, in quotes, tied to terrorism. Can't even say that word evidently, or extremist violence. Per a report from the Capital Research Center, $80 million given towards groups that are sort of using violence when they don't get their way, right? Earth Destiny's in the chat. Thank you, Earth Destiny. I just want to make sure there was at least one human watching. Otherwise, it'd be kind of silly for me just to talk to myself, right? So as long as I get one human watching, that's good. If you're not sure if you're a human, I'll count that too. Let's see what's going on here in Florida.
All things that are wrong are not illegal. And I'm not standing before you today telling you that what happened in that park was wrong. But I am standing before you today telling you that I trust the word of the attorney who was assigned to this case when he said, although those actions were wrong, he could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they were illegal.
We'll see what she's talking about here. What actions are we talking about here? Claims that a man doing things to his genitals in front of children at a park is not illegal. Really? And this was in Florida, probably in a blue part of Florida. Interesting. I would imagine exposing yourself in public to underage is not exactly a legal thing in most places. I'm pretty sure Democrat state attorney. I think there's going to be some interesting things said about that case by what's his name? The guy in charge. Who's the guy in charge over there? The DeSantis, that guy. What did you hear about the story here? Also, let's get rid of this one here. We're just kind of going through all these little news articles little by little. We want to watch the crazy person there or hear the stuff about Antifa here? Let's watch the crazy person first. Maybe not crazy, just challenged.
And a Trumpy. That's a contradiction in and of itself.
Say it again.
Because how are you a woman and a Trumpy? That's a contradiction in and of itself.
Really? Earth Descending, are you a contradiction in itself, assuming you voted for Trump? This smart person here, that's evidently a genius when it comes to politics and womanhood, evidently. She's probably had plenty of experience in both areas there. So let's listen to her years of wisdom at being a genius in the world of politics and womanhood.
I'll go one further. How are you a woman and a Republican?
Really? You can't be a Republican and being a woman at the same time. Interesting. That's very interesting. Let's give us some proof, Miss TikTok.
How? I don't.
Seriously, you actually couldn't come up with all this great content without sort of making multiple videos and turning it into one video? I thought you're a rocket scientist. I thought you know everything here, lady.
Get it. I don't understand. Do you? I'm having a very hard time.
Here's what you do if you're not certain of something about certain people that are conservatives or Republicans that vote for someone, and you don't know why they would do it. There's a thing you normally would do, assuming you live, near outside of Washington, D.C. or New York City, where you see a few more conservatives. You ask them. You ask them questions like, I think it's a 4-word, maybe a 5-word question. Why did you vote for 6 words, Trump? That as a simple question. You don't have to kind of make fun of people. You can actually do a thing called asking people.
I'm understanding. I don't get it. Because what do you mean? Do you not want rights?
What rights do they not have? Name a right they don't have. Please. You know where the rights can be found. It's in the Constitution. Usually 1 through 10 are kind of a good indication of your rights there. Other ones are in there too, but those are kind of the main ones there. So.
You want a loser man telling you what to do all the time?
Biden was in office. If you're referring to politics, he was a loser man, and Democrats were okay with that. So, interesting. But if you're talking about marriage or something like that, you might not be a big fan of marriage. But do women want someone to help provide for them while they provide a happy home for their husband and children? Is that what you're saying?
How are you a woman and a Republican? Hold on, because how are you?
Anybody want to give her any advice? Anybody? Feel free to give her some free advice in the chat, guys. Wow. Rocket scientists here. Rocket scientists. Let's go check out Katie Davis Court. Reed College has officially terminated its community safety director for giving the identity of Portland Antifa militant Robert Jacob Hoops to an FBI agent. Hoops was arrested by the FBI for, what's the word here? Violently assaulting an ICE agent and launching several other attacks at the Portland ICE facility in June. He attempted to eliminate an ICE agent by throwing how big a size rock? A boulder-sized rock at his what? Noggin, or other things there. Sometimes you got to watch your terminology on this platform, you know. Your meat pops. Okay, your meat popsicle force multiply. Double check. I think that's number 4. That's number 4 on the list. So if you're a meat popsicle, put a 4 there. Okay, so that's a force multiplier. Okay, so we have 1 human, 1 meat popsicle. Okay, let's continue this genius situation here. The community safety director, campus security, the leader of campus security, we'll call it, disclosed Hoop's identity to an FBI agent when approached, which led to his arrest. Okay. Reed College, a progressive, very progressive, leftist institute in Portland or Vancouver, anyway, said the safety director's decision went against the college's values. President Audrey Bilger did not condemn Hoop's violence against ICE. Now, why would there's a couple of reasons why a community safety director would disclose Hoop's identity to an FBI agent when approached, which led to his arrest. There's a couple main reasons that I can think of. One is that he cared for the safety of the people within the campus and everything, which is his job. And he wants to make sure that that person that did that kind of stuff, if he assumed the FBI agent was correct, he didn't want that to happen to any conservatives that might have disagreed with this guy or something like that, that thought ICE agents were doing good or something like that. Not many of those at Reed College, but that's one good reason. But here's another reason that kind of makes sense, you know. If you're impeding on an FBI investigation by not answering questions, especially when you work for the government, Reed College gets paid by the government also, so it's private, but a lot of the grants kind of go through there. But anyway, you're also kind of law enforcement too, and you're supposed to uphold the law. If he would likely be arrested for withholding information from an FBI agent. You know, things like General Flynn got arrested for lying to FBI agent and was sent to prison for that kind of stuff. Would the college be okay with that? Evidently, they would have been more okay with that than him trying to keep the students safe. Crazy. Dear Reed community, we are writing to update you on a decision regarding a change in the leadership of Reed College's Department of Public Safety. Following a thorough review, we will be working to identify a new director of community safety. While we cannot comment on personal matters in detail, we want to affirm that this process has been informed by our values, including the privacy and trust of our community members. Privacy and trust of somebody who assaulted somebody else. So they're saying it's a safe space for criminals, is what I'm hearing. We recognize that this has been a difficult and concerning time for many, and we are grateful for the engagement, patience, and trust of the Reed community. As we move forward, we reaffirm our commitment to the shared values of accountability, privacy, and respect. I guess that the boulder was a respectful boulder. He was just throwing a respectful boulder at the ICE agent. Okay, guys, it was not a big boulder. You know, it's just it had the word respect on it. Probably that's what it was. That's why they're defending that kind of behavior at Reed College. Craziness. And you know what my comment was on Katie Davis Court's post here? I think it'll show it right down here. Usually it shows. There it is. My question was to Grok: does Reed College in Portland, Oregon receive any federal money? You know what Grok said back to me? Said yes, Reed College in Portland, Oregon receives federal funding, including a federal Pell Grants up to $7,400 for 2025-26. It's per student. Federal supplemental educational opportunity grants, $1,500 to $2,000 per student, and 32 federal research grants supporting departments like biology, chemistry, and physics. I wonder if they're going to still get those grants if the reporting gets up to the top, Anyway, let's check out some more news before we call it a day for now. Here, you guys still behaving right there in the chat here? You guys still doing good behaving? Okay, good. Yeah, you guys haven't had much music yet lately. So you guys want 30-second music, or do you want a Bill Tifa song? Since you didn't pass the goal earlier that I wasn't grifting on, but you didn't pass the goal there, I'm going to be nice and let you listen to a Bill Tifa song here for a little bit. Maybe not the whole thing, but some of this song here that Bill Tifa wrote the other day that I think you guys might like here. Okay, we'll see if you like it or not. Give me a second. This thing's taking us some time here. Not that one. The best grift anthem. Again, I did not write this. Bill Tifa wrote this, so I can't take any credit for this. Not that I would want to.
Who's got the keys to the treasure chest? Not me, not you, but he does best. Mr. Bill with the tilt of his hat. He's a hurricane wrapped in the tip of cashing in on the fallout glow where the river bends.
Suggests there's a right-wing motive. Why?
A paper trail to a throne of sand, built by the work of another man. Grip the sky, grip the crown, turn the silence into sound. Mr. Bill don't need no crowd, just a game and a hustle round and round. Slicker than oil on a rain-soaked street, words like fire that you can't repeat. He's the shadow dancing in the light, the fine print you missed in the dead of night. Promises stick like a web of glue, but it's gone by the morning, nothing left for you. He's the echo in a hollow hall, the throne that rings with no one.
Okay, if you guys want to hear the rest of that song, you're going to have to donate at least a couple bucks there to make sure that Bill Tifa is happy enough to not sort of keep TP in the house, okay? And at least donate a little bit to make sure that he doesn't TP the house, okay? If you want to hear more of that song. Let's hear what Benny has to say here.
Ladies and gentlemen of Penn State, can I get an amen?
Amen!
Whew.
Benny, I sit here and this almost brings tears to my eyes because we have had such a national heaviness in this country for more than 2 weeks. And to see that this movement lives on and the positive nature of it. You said it's a revival. What are you hearing from these students wearing the same shirt Charlie Kirk was?
Yes. Yes, so the goal was to make students scared. The goal of evil always is to shut down the voices of those speaking truth. That is where Christian martyrdom comes from. Christian martyrdom comes from people speaking truth about our faith, about our country, about our nation. That's what Charlie was doing. That's why Charlie was a Christian martyr. And evil intended to silence that voice. But the way that God works, well, ladies and gentlemen, what man intends for evil, God intends for good. And what you've done is made tens of millions of Charlie Kirk. And freely here at Penn State, Kaylee, the line was a mile long. We just posted it on social media. People have been out here since 6 a.m. waiting to wear a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt.
To be fair, they're there to watch the game too, but
This is the single biggest backfire in history, and it's how God works. You strike Charlie down, you will just make his message stronger. And the moral and good people of America know that, and we are ready to take up the charge.
Benny, someone told me that if you were the preacher at their church, they would go to that church. Benny, I love having you sit here and preach to me. It's awesome. But a little bit of football here.
We're just simple Christians.
Simple Christians. That's a great thing. A little football here because Charlie loved the Oregon Ducks, and they're undefeated. And look, I love Penn State, but I'm for the Oregon Ducks today. Charlie Kirk's team has got to win.
Kaylee, the reason why we're out here giving away 5,000 Charlie Kirk Freedom shirts, and I think they might be all gone already. I think they were gone at 5 a.m. is because it's a whiteout here at Penn State. Penn State has one of Beaver Stadium right behind us, beautiful stadium, one of the largest in the world, 100,000 person capacity. They'll all be wearing white. And so we are going to pack that student section tonight, the game of the week.
Call it. Sports Center's here. Everyone's here. Game of the week. We want those cameras to show 100 million viewers around the world the Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt. It'll be all over the stadium. It'll be all over today. And so we will be standing proud. Now, would Charlie Kirk be cheering for Penn State? Let me tell you about my friend Charlie Kirk. He loved the Oregon Ducks, and Oregon's done an incredible job honoring Charlie, but he also loved Penn State. Charlie Kirk loved Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania delivered for Donald Trump in the election, right? We are in a red state here in Pennsylvania.
That's well said. You know, Benny Johnson, I'm an SEC girl, but today I am an Oregon Ducks fan, and I'm glad to hear you like Penn State too. Thank you, Benny. What an awesome time to have you.
That was cool. That was cool to see that. I'm a Duck fan myself, obviously, but also a Charlie Kirk fan. That's why you see the Oregon Duck hat on my head. Okay, I'm trying to get through these things here. Here. Oh, this is supposedly somebody's being detained because they called Starmer, the Prime Minister of England, a wanker, whatever a wanker is.
So we're here in Altrincham. We've been going around with our battle bus that says Keir Starmer's a wanker on the side. It's playing out Keir Starmer's a wanker on the megaphone, and we've just been detained in our bus by dozens of police officers because they said we are a prescribed terror organisation, apparently, despite the fact that we're a registered political party, and they've had many reports that a prescribed terror organisation is offending the public. So we sat here
Offending the public by calling the Prime Minister of your country, exactly, go Ducks. But yeah, evidently you can't sort of criticize the leader of the UK. You can definitely do it in the United States, however, especially if it's Trump. You know, he doesn't crack down on people who call him names, you know, like this. But if you're in the UK and you call somebody a name or whatever, you get locked up.
we are detained. The poor dog sat here detained. And now they're getting traffic officers here to see if there's anything wrong with the bus. They couldn't arrest us due to the banners. They couldn't arrest us due to the offence we.
So what you're saying is they're trying to find any reason they can to make it an arrest. You know. So did they break any traffic laws? Did the bus go 2 inches into a crosswalk or something like that? Like let's find some reason to put these people in jail, even though they didn't do anything legally wrong.
Apparently caused some lefties in Altrincham. So now they are getting traffic cops to try Public Order Act, yeah. So now they're getting traffic officers here to try and seize our battle bus. Or because we said Keir Starmer's a wanker, and he is a wanker. He's a massive wanker.
And this just proves it.
This just
Any UK people in the chat? What's a wanker in UK terms?
proves he is a massive wanker.
I know what it probably means in US terms, but I don't think that's what they mean in the UK. But anyway, that's the wonderful UK. They love freedom and treating everybody the same over in that country there.
So we're here in Altrincham.
Wherever the Altrincham is. Anyway, I was loved to see all the great freedom lovers in the UK. Go Ducks, let's go, baby. Hopefully you're doing good. Force multiplier, doing good. Well, yeah, in the United States, that's what it stands for, Amagod. But is it that what it means in the UK also? Is kind of a person who, sort of like in that other article we did, where a certain person was doing something like that in front of kids? Is that what we're talking about? Not that Starmer does it in front of kids. It's an interesting thing. This is Alyssa Azar here. This is an interesting thing here. She and her Antifa friends recently, after the president did something, are kind of deleting their accounts, kind of cleaning up all their social media of all the kind of stuff that they said and suggested recently, you know. But do they not understand? I mean, they're like 20, 30-year-olds. Usually 20 and 30-year-old people understand that once it's on the internet, it's on the internet, right? Just because you deleted something doesn't mean that somebody else has a record of it. Andy No, for instance, or something like that, or that there's not a way to retrieve it if necessary, if the FBI looks into it and ask Twitter for information. There's not a way to kind of say, can you find out what this person deleted? We need it for investigative resources, you know. Could get it that way. But anyway, this is Alyssa Azar, is one of the ringleaders, journalists of Antifa, that was actually arrested a while back for attacking a woman at a Clackamas County event. I almost made it to on time, but I couldn't make it to that event on time to see a little bit of a scuffle between leftists and some Proud guys. Anyway.
Although maybe people will fight it. If a traffic camera catches you jaywalking in China, the digital ID system has your blood now, has your genetic code, has your photograph.
It's a derogatory insult. Okay, I figured it was something like that, but in the United States, in most places, you can give people a derogatory insults, you know, and that's essentially when the person you're saying is not even there. You're just kind of saying something about them. You know, it's not like I spit in your face, you know, with words. No, the person's not there to spit in their face of. They're just giving their opinion of the prime minister.
It can identify how you walk, so even if you can't see a face, you can be picked up by gait. It will convict you of jaywalking and take money out of your bank account with no intermediating judicial.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That was kind of a big event back in the day. You had a lot of coverage of that particular day where Antifa and the Proud Boys had a little bit of a little scuffle that day, we'll say.
At all.
If I had more people watching me on Rumble or something like that, I would sort of play that video on Rumble or something like that. But unfortunately, I can't play those videos on TikTok. But there was fun stuff happening that day in Oregon City.
And show a picture of you to the people in the neighborhood so that
And I used to play horseshoes at that park too.
they know that you have jaywalked, and reduce your social credit score. And if your social credit score falls below a certain level, you can't buy drinks from a vending machine. You can't play video games. You can't go on a train. You can't get out of your 15-minute city.
Wow, can you imagine? Assuming what he said is true about that kind of stuff, you know, you got to have your social credit score, and oh wow, can you imagine? Imagine if America had a social credit score, so you can't, which would say if you say anything bad about the LGBTQ community, then your score goes down, and you have to stay within your city. You know, imagine that kind of behavior if America had their version of a social credit score. In China, it's more conservative, or whatever, if you will, at that point. There, you know, do what the state says, or else. Yeah, that's what I was just mentioning there, where they're trying to take down all their posts and everything. Bill Maher is starting to wake up here, evidently here, possibly. See what he says here.
Stop coming up. If we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath, insist there be no debate about anything. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5. Isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Looting is cool.
The king needs to dissolve parliament in the UK. I think he could technically do that in Canada if they really wanted to, because Canada is technically still ran by the head of the state, which is the king. They say it's technically just a ceremonial thing, but if you look at the books, he does have power to do things if he wanted to.
Healthy at any weight. If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say shit. If we are ever going to get back.
Is he just saying that because Nancy Mace is there? If a lefty was there, would he say something different? You know, I don't know. He's somewhat consistent nowadays, but I don't watch him that much. Joy Reid. Want to hear what Kamala Harris and more word salads here?
Listen, that's another piece of this, which is I really want to remind
UK,
people of the light that is in each of us, even in these moments of darkness, especially in these moments of darkness. We have.
Isn't that the necklace thing that somebody was talking about that she wore or somebody wore that was supposed to be like really expensive, and it's like you saw it on Beyonce or something like that? Was it that same kind of necklace thingamajigger? And the thing that's ridiculous about this, if you're a African American and you wore a chain like this around your neck, would that seem inappropriate to you? If she's a black woman, would wearing something that looks like a chain around your neck look kind of inappropriate? I think that would look very inappropriate to people on the left. Anyway, that would seem like, okay, you like to be in chains, evidently, right? But remember, she said she's a black woman running for president, not where she came from or anything like that. Just craziness.
Have to remember nobody gives us our light. It's ours. So let's see it in ourselves. Let's see it in each other. It may be a little flicker right now because they're certainly trying to dim it, but don't let them extinguish our light.
Oh my goodness. She'd be a better psychotherapist than a president. Not by much, but by a little, but she'd be a better psychotherapist. At least a better psycho.
Right?
And you think this country is going to survive this regime?
Only if we fight for the country.
Which one's worse, guys? Which one's worse? Joy Reid or Kamala Harris? Goodness gracious. Okay, you guys didn't hear that. I'm not going to leave you with that picture there. Let's leave you with Ben Barcombe on the screen here as I play more of that song for you, even though you guys didn't sort of earn it or anything like that, with donations. Not that I'm grifting, but just play more of the song here. Let's see if I can get some more activity in the chat here or something like that. What's another thing I could ask you guys to get some more jibber jabbering in the chat there? Spell jibber jabber. How about that one? Who can spell jibber jabber correctly? Okay. You can spell jibber jabber correctly. I'll give you a high five. Okay. Everybody try to spell jibber jabber. Play more song here first.
Trail to a throne of sand, built by the work of another man. Grip the sky, grip the ground, turn the silence into sound.
I have to Google it.
Don't need no crown, just a game and a hustle round and round. Thicker than oil on a ring-soaked street. Words like fire that you can't unbeat. Piece of shadow dancing in the light. Vibrate you missed in the...
Okay, we'll finish that song or the end here. Okay, we'll finish the whole song there. If you guys want to contribute more donations to help me not get attacked by Bill Tifa or anything like that, you guys can sort of send donations in if you care about me. You don't have to, but I'll play another song for you. But if you don't want me to be attacked by Bill Tifa with his TP and things like the graffiti that he does, then you'll help me out there. But let me check and see your answers here. Jibber jabber. That is the correct spelling, John. Good job. Good job. You get the high five. There you go. Good job. Good job. Okay, let's keep going here. I just like to finish the news, and then later on tonight we'll see other news that might have happened or watch some other videos of craziness going on in the world. Or see what leftists are thinking. What was this about here?
And just want to make a note to all of the folks out there. Thank God for the revival that we see going on across America. I'm sad that it took the assassination of Charlie Kirk for that to happen. But
Look at this here. You see why he's pointing out this particular church here? Lutheran Church, the Reformation. See what it says on their thing there? Black Lives Matter and the rainbow here. Lutherans have a bunch of different denominations, from what I understand. Two of them, however, are their main ones. One denomination is goes for this stuff, and the other denomination is like very conservative. It's kind of a weird kind of church.
I also want to caution, if you're looking for a church, especially for the folks out there that haven't been in church in a long time or have never been in a church, all churches are not the same. There are thousands of denominations now, and many of them are what Jesus called dens of vipers. This is one of those. We're here in DC, and I'll just give you a hint. If the so-called church has the LGBT gay flag, or in this case, if it's got Black Lives Matter on it, it's not a Christian church anymore. These places are social justice clubs. They are leftist, communist, activist organizations masquerading as.
And also, if you have to put PhD as on your next to your reverend status there, also a good indication that's not really a positive Christian church if they're care more about their secular education than they do about the reverendness and the who they're loyal to. You know, not loyal to a school, you're loyal to.
Christian churches, they are not Christian churches anymore. If you're looking for a place to go where Christ is king and your life matters and you find purpose in your life, these places are not it. They are empty tombs. If they don't preach salvation through repentance, that is not a place to go. If they tell you to come as you are and stay as you are, that is not a place to go. There's only one way to heaven, and that is through the narrow gate. There is a wall around heaven. These are the same people that want open borders, that say there shouldn't have walls on our southern border. Well,
I haven't heard of that word before, but yeah, that's a good word too. So man, you're going old school, John. You're going old school on that one. So I'm not going to guess your age, but I'll guess you're older than I am because I was watching 80s cartoons. I wasn't watching 70s cartoons.
there's a wall around heaven, and the gate's narrow. It says, wide is the gate that leads to destruction. Narrow is the path to righteousness. Many of these places are taking people through the wide gate that are leading them to hell. Find a church that preaches the gospel of repentance, not the gospel of social justice. If they've got any of that crap in the front of their buildings, or better yet, go into their about page and read what they say about them. If it's not about Christ, if it's not about his sacrifice, about his mercy and your repentance, then it's not a place worth going. I am praying for revival. I'm praying that those places are exposed and shut down. And I'm praying that revival happens and that millions come to faith in Jesus.
Amen, brother. Gen X girl here. Netanyahu meets with U.S. influencers to discuss how they can brainwash evangelicals back to supporting Israel. He explains the most important war for Israel. Blah, blah, blah. Probably something YouTube doesn't like. So I don't know why I put that on there. In the UK, peaceful protests. Anyway, let's watch this video.
Offering conversation.
Another lady arrested, evidently, in the UK.
I'm just here with my sign, offering conversation.
What's her sign say? Conversation.
Are you willing to?
Coercion is a crime. Here to talk only if you want. Only if somebody wants a conversation is she here to talk. Coercion is a crime, which the police are there coercioning her.
Move.
No,
The buffer zone is at the top of this road, just
yeah,
out there.
I know. Yeah,
Can you make your way to the top of the road?
I'll stand here.
You stay here.
Yes.
Not much choice, no. You do understand that I believe there's not much choice in having to arrest you for breaching the buffer zone legislation. You understand that, don't you?
Right. So, what part of the buffer zone legislation I'm breaching then?
Do you like me to read it to you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so, in terms of behaviours that breach the legislation, where there's intent or recklessness or may include approaching someone to try and persuade them not to access abortion services surrounding people as they try.
So she's outside of a clinic, if you know what I mean by a clinic.
And they're out of the clinic or the hospital. This is the hospital here. They're within the
As she's on the other side of the street from the hospital you just pointed at.
buffer zone, handing out leaflets, religious preaching, and silent vigils. Okay, I'm arresting you under Section 1 of the Criminal Justice Scotland Act 2016 for breaching the Abortion Services Scotland Act 2020.
Scotland. We'll call it UK anyway, yeah. 1930s Germany. So someone's on the other side of the street, not handing out leaflets, not doing any of the stuff there, not sort of invading anybody's space. Saying coercion is a crime when it comes to people talking people into doing bad things to your child, I'm guessing.
The reason for your arrest is that I suspect that you have committed an offence, and I believe that keeping you in custody is necessary and proportionate for the purposes of bringing you before a court or otherwise dealing with you in accordance with the law. Do you understand?
Yes.
You're not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say may be noted and used in evidence. Do you understand? Do you have a reply to make regarding your arrest?
Well, I wasn't approaching anyone. I wasn't handing out any leaflets. I wasn't doing anything that, in my mind, contravenes your buffer zone.
But evidently, 4 cops there, if not more, thinks that she was sort of doing this buffer zone thing or something like that. She's literally across the street, nearly against a fence, with a sign that people can choose to see and choose to interact with. But cops with a power trip, or they're seniors or whatever, that say you have to arrest these kind of people. Oh, wow. And now the cops are blocking the camera person from doing their job. Because they're not fans of freedom of the press either.
Whilst you're inside the van, if you can please refrain from putting your hands in your pockets.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, have you got a step down for that?
We don't have a step down, but we can give you a hand to step up. Okay.
Hold on, I'm 50 here.
Okay then.
You just for the purpose of the journey there, son, see what you're maybe best doing, see if you can, see if you can try and get your feet as kind of close to that as you can, just fucking round falls and stuff always.
Right, it's just that I've had a double hip replacement. I can't, and I'm short.
Look after you,
I can't hang on to that.
We're slowly we can get back out of it. All right.
Okay.
Right, cheers. Get some water. Something back out.
Okay.
All right, cheers.
Thank you.
Literally locking up an old lady in a paddy wagon. My goodness, the UK is toast. You thought it was bad under the Conservatives, and they're still doing similar things, but under Starmer out here, it sounds like a German name, Starmer, doesn't he? But this is a good video. I saw this out here earlier. Honey Badger Mom was talking to this lady here, and this lady here was talking to one of these Antifa people out here that had bad opinions here. Let's check out his bad opinions that she talked to him about here.
Seeing this right before us happening for 4 4 months. Like, I think it's time. Not only was Charlie murdered, we saw it live on.
Charlie was dumb enough
Fuck Charlie. Can I ask you a question?
Fuck Charlie. He was a racist bastard.
I understand. May I talk to you? Can I just ask you a question? Can I just ask you a question?
What?
The guy in the suit here is I forget his name, but is the guy that's giving all these guys here the ability to go to the bathroom in his apartment on the other side of the street over there. And he just said F you to the guy that's kind of giving him the ability to take a pee when he needs to go. So yeah, this is going to get bad for this guy here. You said it was okay for them to do it, but you don't understand what Antifa is like, evidently.
Are you from Portland?
Yes, I am.
How long have you lived?
I lived here my whole fucking life.
Do you think this is the trajectory that we want to see?
Fuck yeah. Cause you guys are the fucking problem. Fucking rapist, fucking president, thinking it's all right to have all you white people go after the colored people. Like, what?
You see the mentality of these people here? White people go after the colored, and again, has white skin on him too. So nobody's going after people of color here, buddy. Sorry. Only one that treats them as inferiors are leftists nowadays. Nobody in the right treats any other nationality or anything like that any different. The leftists are the ones that treat them differently and think that they're beneath them and think that they need extra help for some reason, which they don't need extra help. So yeah, not the right. It's the left that treats minorities differently.
The fuck? No. Neither of them. We don't need a fucking government. Fuck.
That's all they can say is, "Oh, just cuss. We don't need a government. 350 million people they can just take care of themselves without any kind of governance." Yeah, not communists in this guy's case here, but there are some communists within the Antifa, but this guy here is an anarchist with no common sense.
Biden, fuck Trump, fuck them all. They're not good people.
What do you think is the solution?
Fuck it. Get rid of it.
What's the solution?
Fuck the government. We don't need it.
No, remember when I met you, I was like, that's your solution, is no government? Okay. So do we need somebody to be leading us? Is this group here going to be?
We don't need no fucking king. That's what Trump's trying to be.
Do
Is
we
a
need
fucking
housing?
king.
Do we need banks?
Very confused guy. Trump's trying to be a king, okay?
You think they really care about housing? They don't.
No, I'm asking
No,
you.
the government don't care about the fucking.
In your perfect world. In your perfect
They're
world.
not a fucking perfect world.
But in
Look
your
where we
world.
fucking live at.
So is this
I think he's had that sort of mask over his face a little bit too long. It's kind of blocking some of the oxygen to the brain cells, I think, is what's going on here.
yelling and arguing? And is this the solution to everything? Or we're just
I think you're talking about the one that's down in the macadam area. No, it's still there, I believe. It's still in that area. They're in that ballpark there, about a quarter mile away from this place, I believe. Let me check out my Google thing here real quick. But yeah, there's a old spaghetti factory right along the river down there. I've been there once or twice. I took a date there once. No, I did not get lucky with a date. Sorry. It was a long time ago. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, old spaghetti factory. Sort of thinking if I do ever want to go down there, that area around that area, it's might have a little parking spot closer to that area that might be safer than the other place here. Okay, there's that spaghetti factory. Okay, that's not the one I'm thinking of. This is the one I'm thinking of right here. Okay. So here. Yeah, it still says it's going around, and then you go down the macadam area. There's macadam. Where's the ice building is right in this ballpark over here. It's about 4 or 5 blocks away, it looks like. think it's right in that area anyway. Anyway, sorry about that. But here, watch what he wants to say certain things, but he knows that he's not supposed to say certain things coming up here.
If they were mean about that, they'd put the fucking weapons down and come fight. Fuck the feds.
Question, like, what is your solution?
The solution is to get rid of fascists, he says.
What does that mean?
You guys.
Kill them?
What does it mean to get rid of fascists is her question. Does it mean pew-pewing them? Get rid of them. He doesn't want to say the word he really means, you know, because he knows by sort of saying those words on camera that he knows he's on camera, then that would just kind of bring more attention to Antifa.
How do you get rid of them? Do you want them like separated or do you want them to die? How? There you have it.
Perfect. Great way to handle it. Great way to handle it. There we go. I think that takes care of all the stuff there. Yes, it does. Good deal. Okay. There's quite a few new buildings in the Portland area. If you're looking at Google Maps there, yeah, there's even that sort of bridge, walking bridge that goes over there. And then the OHSU has got that little trolley thing or whatever it is that goes overhead over there. Yeah. I kept thinking it'd be a cool place. We used to do a flag wave over that sort of walking bridge that kind of, as you're getting into Portland, you know, I think it's shortly before you get the 405 freeway. Anywho, that's pretty good for now. Hour and 37 minutes. And I still have a few people in here. I was going to check and see if you guys actually, how many votes I had on that sort of question there for the heck of it. It's only 13 votes. I was hoping for more votes than that. Let's see how many likes we have here. Not that I'm grifting. I'm just curious here. You guys keep thinking I'm a big time grifter and all that, and all I care about are likes and donations. I'm just curious. 15 likes here. We'll make it 16 likes. If you guys want to, I'll give you guys till the end of the song to get 4 more likes on there. If you wanted to hit the like button, see if you can get me to up to 20 likes, and I'll keep this video up. But if I don't get to 20 likes, then I'll have to delete the video. Okay? If you feel good empathy for this video, then you'll hit the like button if you haven't done it already. So here's the rest of the song.
But it's gone by the morning, nothing left for you. He's the echo in a hollow hall, the phone that rings with no one to call. Is it wrong, is it right, or just a trick of the light? The anthem plays as he takes his flight. Is it wrong, is it right, or just a trick of the light? The anthem plays as he takes his flight. Is it wrong, is it right, or just a trick of the light? The anthem plays as he takes his flight.
It's a pretty cool song. You like that song? There's another version of that song there too, but you guys would have to pay to hear that next version of the song there. I'll do one song without pay. Not that I'm grifting, I'm just saying I can only handle so much music unless I get paid. Maybe that is grifting. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything else to look at or anything like that out there. A quick little search and see if there's any latest news here real quick here on Twitter. Let's see the pretty picture of the moose and everything out there. It's probably Alaska or Upper Montana, maybe. No, it's probably, is that Denali? I think they call it Denali. I think I call it Mount McKinley. Is that Mount McKinley, you think? Anyway, that's just a picture that came with this thing. But anyway, what is going on in the crazy news here? 2 hours ago, FBI Portland just posted a photo of the ICE facility that has been under siege, letting Antifa protesters know that agents are watching. Interesting. And they've probably been watching for the past 7 or 8 months, keeping track of people's accounts and things like that out there. So, yeah, go ahead and delete your account now. I'll listen, everybody else. Governor Newsom's press office 17 hours ago said Stephen Miller is a fascist. Why do you think they posted this? I'm curious. Why would they sort of say that someone is a fascist to their leftist base kind of out there? You know, why would they sort of put that out there when the leftist base, like the people attacking the LA ICE facility, are calling all the ICE agents fascist and attacking them? Why would they say the same thing about somebody in Washington, D.C. that supports Trump? I wonder why. Yeah, you guys know why. Let's see if there's anything important news or anything like that. 1 hour ago. I don't want to hear a story. I don't want to listen to Jasmine Crockett, but I will watch it later. I don't care about Elizabeth Warren, but we can watch that one later. Frontline military trying to see something like that. I don't care. It's not enough interesting news. I want interesting news. I'm going to play now. Another person put their hand on the thing, or is that? I think that was before. I think we already saw that one a long time ago. Well, this is interesting here. Where's this thing at? Randy Cruz had a doctor's appointment, was met with this form at check-in. 50 different boxes related to gender and sex. I should have left. Gender identity. But 20 different options there with different names there. You guys want to see that? Can I make it bigger for you guys to see those names there? I probably could if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you see the names there. Female, male, transgender male, non-binary, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's cis or cisgender. You see what the mistake they made on it there? They make up all these things here, but they make the insulting one cis or cisgender. What are they missing? Gender identity, legal sex. Is the unknown of your legal sex, or putting an X as an option for legal sex? This is in the Seattle area, likely. Two-spirit. But in the cisgender, you're either a cisgender male or a cisgender female, from what I understand of this gender nonsense. You know, you're not just cisgender. That's not your gender identity. You're cis male, or cis woman, or cis man, right? You're not just cis. That's not a gender identity. Anyway, that's just crazy, people. Sexual orientation, about 10 options over there. Pronouns, another 6 or 7 options over there. Wow. This makes so much sense. We saw that one. We saw that one. We'll watch this one later here. That's always weird to see what the leftists in Hollywood are saying. I haven't watched that one yet. What's this one about here? Sounds like a good speech. You watch that one some other time. I might want to watch this one too. Anything else worth watching later? I know it's wasting time. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to look for something to do here. What did she put up? Another thing 3 hours ago. Zero tolerance. I'll watch that one tonight too. Unless you want to watch that one right now. Let's watch this one right now.
Minnesota, legislators and even children attending mass were gunned down in cold blood in 2 separate incidents. And an assassin targeted and murdered our friend Charlie Kirk. A sniper shot 3 people at a Texas ICE facility, and now more than 200 violent rioters were at a Chicago ICE facility chanting, "Arrest ICE, shoot ICE." At least one had a gun. We've seen this before. We saw it in Portland and with the LA riots. These are not peaceful protests. These are coordinated attacks by radical extremists, and they end now. Anyone who threatens or assaults our federal officers will be arrested and charged federally, not in some liberal state court. Same goes for anyone who's funding and aiding these extremists. You will be dismantled brick by brick. We are taking our country back. Make America safe again.
Finally, she stands up for something, you know. So she stood up for other things back a couple of months ago, but I'm glad she's standing up for things now. It's the thing that I'm so weirded out by. The left, they want to protect the administrative state and all the federal employees in the administrative state, you know, FBI, people that want to quit because Comey got indicted, like, wow, feel sorry for them. And other people that were given the option to get a severance pay, you know, feel sorry for them. They didn't want to work under Trump because he's this, but they don't feel sorry for people that are out there sort of doing the hard jobs like ICE and Border Patrol and National Guard. You know, they don't want to feel sorry for those people there. You know, they sort of want to have the same similar opinions to these leftists that are out there invading the space of ICE officers and such. It's kind of weird. They pick and choose what federal officers they like and don't like out there, don't they? It's craziness out there. You guys still hanging out in the chat there? I had a few of you guys hanging out in the chat. I appreciate that. And we got still hanging out there? Probably. I think I was probably... Oh, there's another incident that happened a while ago here. Portland anarchists, Antifa, firebombed rapper Ice Cube's tour bus after reportedly mistaking it for ICE, an ICE deportation bus. I don't think it said ICE on it anywhere, even though it could because it was Ice Cubes. But it was just all black and probably tinted windows. So they assumed that it was an ICE deportation bus and tried to firebomb it. Can you imagine how silly you look when you're trying to attack a guy that's likely on your side in a lot of things, you know? Not a big fan of violence anymore. He used to kind of be an anti-cop kind of guy. It wasn't one of his songs, or was that Ice-T song? It was kind of not a friendly cop song. Anyway, but I don't think he's going to want to come back to Portland anytime soon if he's going to get that kind of behavior from Portland. Just ridiculous. Antifa people don't use their brains. I think we're done for now, though. 39 minutes ago. The riots happened. Ron Wyden. Oh, this is a senator here. They went to the ICE facility the other day, let in, and they gave a tour and everything. Taking just a few minutes ago outside the ICE facility in Portland that Trump claims is under siege. My message to Donald Trump is this: we don't need you here. Stay the hell out of our city. Show the ground there, Ron. What does it say on the ground there? What does it say on the ground there, right there? Looks like it says certain bad words about ICE there. Looks like it says certain bad words about ICE. Yeah. What does it say across the street there? What does it say across the street there? Yeah, and again, more words not so nice about ICE there. You know, certain things that, you know, unaliving type words. Yeah, go on. You're not zooming in down. Oh, there's a Portland police officer there on a bike. Why would there be a Portland police officer on a bike out there? Pretty sure, anyway. In shorts there. Nice day out there today. Yeah, that's interesting there. You see all this graffiti on this little sign here also? What? Let's zoom in on that stuff, Mr. Wyden. Zoom in on that kind of stuff. What does it say on that little pole there? I'm kind of curious what it says there. If you're going to film all this, say safe area there, show that. right over there, just a few days ago, a journalist was attacked and bear sprayed. Yeah, do you remember that, Mr. Wyden? Want to show that video? Want to show that video? Yeah, yeah. You don't show that. In the middle of the day here in Portland, there on a Saturday, no less, and everything, where a lot of these people are a little tired from the previous night's stuff and are probably actually touching grass today. Wait till tonight. Again, look at what it says right there again. This is on federal property there, and it says something, loser type stuff. Loser ice or something like that, on federal property. But yeah, they're peaceful people. They're peaceful protesters. Oh, and also, you see all the plywood there, Mr. Wyden? See all this plywood all around there? Why would a federal facility need that extra kind of protection? Why would that happen? Huh? Please let me know. Interesting. Let's see if any comments are down here. Here's Andy No's response. The riots happen mostly at night outside ICE. Antifa are sleeping during the day. Do you want to go undercover with my colleagues and live stream so you can have a more accurate understanding? Have your team message me and I can arrange. You think he's going to ignore that? I'm pretty sure he's going to ignore that. Cat's in the house. What's going on, Cat? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Is there anything else going on in the world of live streaming going on out there? Are you feeling better? I think you last time I saw you were a little sleepy or something like that. Hopefully you got a good night's rest. Awesome. Anyway, I want to see some comments here. Comments on it. Let's go comments on Ron Wyden himself here. He probably has some geniuses that follow him here. That kind of behavior there. I can't show some of those videos. And yeah, he said the same thing there. Yeah. You don't want us, Enrique Tario, you don't want us to show up. The FBI and DHS are a lot nicer than we are. So shut the F up. Yeah, you don't want them to show up. You had your chance for it to be a nice civil situation, and mutual combat situations and things like that. But no, you let Trump get in there, and it's going to be a little bit different kind of situation for some of your Antifa friends. Look at this one time. The one time everybody else realizes, like, wow, it's not under siege on a nice Saturday, where he has police protection, when you go in there at night, there's no police whatsoever there. So I wonder why there's no Antifa there that kind of didn't show up there when he went there. I hope Katie Davis Court asked the cops in that area if she can, or when Ron Wyden went to visit there, did he ask for a police presence to accompany him? They'll probably say, there may have been, yes, but don't let anybody know that we told you so. Okay, it's craziness. Okay, I think I'm done here. Is there anything else to talk about? There's nobody else in the chat except for Force and Cat there. So we'll just do one more double check if you guys want to stay on or something like that. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a human. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not sure if you're a human. Put a 3 in the chat if you're definitely not human. I'm trying to get to 2 hours here. Let's try to get to 2 hours. We got 5 more minutes here. So we're going to play another song here. Not one of your cat songs or anything like that. I know you want me to play a cat song or something like that, but I'm going to play a different song here. This is a song about Emmett here. Emmett's a good guy. I played this last night for him, so I'll play my other songs for me later tonight, or I'll make more songs. But this is a good Emmett song here. Let's see if you like it. I played that one. I'm going to play the other version here, see if it sounds any different here. Emmett's a good guy here. I think he might be streaming now. Is he streaming, Cat? I'll see you streaming here as I play the song for you guys. I think for one person subscribed. Thank you.
But it's pizza, him, divorce, nice after a lot. You speak of jalapenos, guacamole, dream
You like this one?
Oh, Emmett, what you hiding so? You play the pixel genius, but your muscles show.
There's another version I played last night. I like it better, I think.
Oh, Emmett, your heart won't deceive.
Not a whole lot else going on right now. Jay Dyer, if you like him, I never watched it. I just subscribed for some reason, but nobody else is going on right now, it seems like. Portland Andy, Chicago protests. We'll send you over to Portland Andy, I guess. See, there's some riot type stuff or whatever, things like that. All I can think to do.
Play the pixel genius, but your muscles show. Oh, Emmett, your heart won't deceive. For Jesus is the one thing you truly believe. Him so be true, no matter the mask. For love divine, that's his only task. Pizza and pixels, they fade away, but faith in Jesus, it forever stay. Him so be true, no matter the mask. For love divine, that's his only task. Pizza and pixels, they fade away, but faith in Jesus, it forever stay. Oh, Emmett, what you hiding so? You play the pixel genius, but your muscles show. Oh, Emmett, your heart won't deceive. For Jesus is the.
This would be a good way to transition if Emmett was on right now, or ever to transition to him, but he's not on right now. But I think I'll do that kind of thing there. So I'll have a song for each streamer that I'm about to raid you to, or something like that. But except for today, Portland Andy, I don't have a song for him, but he plays some music in between his things. Wait, we're almost done with this one.
One thing you truly believe.
That sounded good. That sounded pretty good. Alrighty, guys and girls. We're going to raid you out here in a little bit. Yeah, we're close enough to 2 hours. Unless Kat has anything to say. Nobody else has anything to say. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you guys watching and hanging out for a little while. I should be able to keep the video up here. I don't think I said anything that YouTube doesn't like. If I did, there's a thing down here just explaining things there, YouTube. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Please stay for the raid. And if you do sort of talk to Portland Andy over there, he might be busy with his chat. Ask him a question for me. Tell him Mr. Bill wonders when he learned to ride a bike. Ask him what age he learned to ride a bike, because the other day he was out riding a bike or whatever. Ask him when he learned to ride his bike. Silly question, but it's a good question, I think. Anyway, we'll send you guys over after this 30-second intermission.